Okay, just give me some super quick 20 seconds to just tell you at the very beginning what we will discover in this video. So first of all, there's a global attack speed cap. You cannot reach more than 5 attacks a second, no matter how much attack speed you stack. Just because your character screen displays 1.2 attacks per second is your base attack speed, that doesn't mean that skills follow this rule. We will discover that most of the skills have their very own attack rate, and this actually varies between 1 per second and 2.2 per second based on the skill. And last but not least, we verified that accelerating aspect as well as unstable currents, which can overcap attack speed over 100%, are correctly working as displayed. So now let's just verify everything I just said. Today, this video is going to be a little bit of theory crafting because I was looking into creating a build which is based on basic skills, and I wanted to reach like a permanent uptime of Flame Shield together with the Hectic Vampiric Power. And I kind of figured out to stack like the maximum amount of attack speed, because you can stack basic skill attack speed on top of regular attack speed, and then you can use 100% unstable currents, and every, 5 basic attacks you will reduce the cooldown. And what I kind of discovered by that is that some assumptions about attack speed, which are like out on the internet, are simply not correct, and also that there's a hidden attack speed cap, which we will encounter later in this video. So for now, I just want to establish the baseline. And to establish the baseline, we want to verify how the attack speed is working in general. So to do this, you can see I only have a Frostbolt on my bar. I have no Paragon board. Well, I have some points here, but they don't do anything. Regarding our skill tree, I don't have anything in my skill tree but like some basic stuff. Like I have maximum Frostbolt, I have like some passives here which do not even matter. Then I maxed out my Conjurations here, I maxed out Blizzard, maxed out Meteor. I did that just to reach Asus Ferocity because I need that in the test later. So I have no attack speed modifiers whatsoever, I have no procs, nothing lucky hit really on my gear. I'm just wearing a wand, so I have nothing on right now, right? Literally zero. So as you can see, if I look at my stats, I also don't have any vampiric powers on here. And if we look at my stats, I don't have any attack speed bonus. So you can see the attack speed bonus would be somewhere here, and it's not there because it's 0%. So that means the weapon speed is 1.2 attacks per second, and so this is our baseline, and we want to verify if this baseline is correct or not. So what we're going to do is now we're going to record this with 60 frames per second, and then we're just going to attack this training dummy here, and then we're going to count the number of attacks, and we will see if the baseline is correct or not. So let's do this right now. Gonna start this stopwatch here, and let's start attacking it. We don't need many attacks because we don't have any attack speed modifiers whatsoever, so I just attack it for like 10 seconds, and then I'm gonna stop. And now let's look at it again frame by frame. Okay, before we verify our baseline of 1.2 attacks per second, because this is what the game actually tells us the base attack speed will be, let us just go through this spreadsheet here real quick, and it's gonna get more clear when I go through the actual test with attack speed bonuses. But for now, I have an attack speed of 1.2 attacks per second. That's my assumption. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna record the number of seconds when I start the first attack, and then I record the number of seconds when I do the last attack. And I'm gonna do a total of 11 attacks. I'm doing 11 attacks, so because if I would just do 10 attacks and I would count the time between the first attack hitting and the last attack hitting, I would actually just have 9 cooldowns between the attacks and 10 attacks, so that wouldn't be accurate. I want to have 10 cooldowns and 10 attacks to get the number of attacks per second correctly, and that's why I'm doing 11 attacks. And then later I will show you the calculations with more attack speed and the expected number of attacks and the real number of attacks after establishing our baseline. But now we establish our baseline, and I'm going through this now frame by frame, and let's count the attacks. So let's do this right now. Going through this frame by frame now, and let's see when the first attack hits at 1.18 seconds. And let's continue. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. There's 5. And maybe you already noticed that this is not 1.2 per second. This is way more, right? There's 6. But we will see at the very end when it actually calculates how much it is. So there's 7. There's 8. There's 9. It's 10. And there's 11. So that's 6.84. 6.84. So as you can see, this makes a total number of 5.66 seconds for 10 attacks, which means we do 1.77 attacks per second. So this is like so far away from 1.2 attacks per second. I don't know what like kind of blizzard seconds are. Maybe it has something to do with frames or internal handling or whatever. But 1.2 attacks per second is just completely wrong. Like it is not the truth. I don't know why it is that way. We just verified it's not there. So we verified the true number of attacks per second is 1.77. So this is going to be our baseline for further calculations. So instead of having this assumption of 1.2 here, I'm going to change it. And now this is 1.77. And this is not an assumption anymore. This is now our baseline. So our baseline is 1.77. And now we're going through the further cases here with more attack speed and see how accurate it actually is, how attack speed works, what not works, and if there is a hidden cap somewhere. So now let's see what adding attack speed actually does. To do this, I'm gonna use 100% attack speed. So what I'm doing is I'm putting on 15% on my gloves. And I put on this Asus Ferocity amulet with 68%. And then I have another 20% from the Heady Assault Elixir. So I have 100% cap when Asus Ferocity is active. To have this active, I actually need like to do crits. So let me just put on some crit chance, right? I'm just putting on like Asus boots here. Like there's no attack speed on it whatsoever, right? And then I just put on this other ring here. This has another 6.3 critical strike chance. No attack speed on whatsoever, right? I didn't change anything about my attack speed. I just did this to get some extra critical strike chance. Okay, so then if we hit this training dummy, you will see... Maybe I should actually spec into Asus Ferocity. So let's spec into Asus Ferocity. And now if I hit this training dummy, and if I put up my attack speed, you can see attack speed bonus 100% when it's active. Again, let's hit it. Active, 100% attack speed bonus. So this is like, now we would expect twice the number of attacks per second. So let's just do this and start the recording here again. And hit the training dummy. We again don't need to do it very long. You can see Asus Ferocity was active all the time. It never went off. So we have 100% attack speed all the time. So let's stop it right here and then go through the recap again. Okay, now let's verify our 100% attack speed case. So I just put 100% attack speed now in here in my spreadsheet, right? And you see the expected attacks per second is now 3.54. Let me just put these at 0 to make it more pretty. And let's get our start second again. I'm not going to use the first attack right now because I don't have Asus Ferocity active. So now you can see like the swirly fire thing. So it's now active. And I can start with using the next attack now. So we can be 100% sure it's correct. So from this attack now I will be starting. So there's the hit at 1.62. And let's go on. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10, and 11. So this is 4.45. This makes 2.83 seconds. And you can see the number of attacks per second actually was 3.53. Our expectation was 3.54. So this couldn't be any more accurate, right? So the attack speed formula is flawless. It works. It works correctly. 100% attack speed absolutely doubled the number of attacks I did. Okay, so next thing I want to verify here is basic skill attack speed. So the assumption is then you can stack basic skill attack speed on top of regular attack speed to get even more attacks out of this, right? So let's put on items with basic skill attack speed. So I have this this helmet here. You can see there's nothing affecting attack speed on there whatsoever. And this is 15% basic skill attack speed, right? And then we have a focus here. This has 9% basic skill attack speed. So this is summing up to 24% basic skill attack speed. So let's run this again with another 24% basic skill attack speed. Again, Asus Ferocity was active all the time, we already verified. So that's gonna be it. Let's go through the recap again now. Okay, now we are still at 100% attack speed. We added 24% basic skill attack speed. So now our expected attacks per second is 3.96. So I'm going through this frame by frame again. Again, I'll wait until Asus Ferocity is fully established. And then I'm gonna start counting. So let's do this right now. So there's the Asus proc. Not going to use this one. I'm going to start at the next one so we can be sure it's fully established. So there is our first hit at 3.58. And let's go on. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So that is 6.25 seconds. So as you can see, I have attacks per second 3.75. So we already have a difference here. This is not very far away from this one here, but we can already see that something is not stacking here the way we assumed it to be stacking. Because, well, I don't know how it's being calculated, but my assumption here is that we are kind of hitting a frame cap here. So let's just take this for now and see there's a difference, and then let's go on with the next test. Okay, so now let's put some more basic skill attack speed on. I have this focus here, which has 12% plus 30% from the aspect. So let me just put it on. So this is going to be 15% from my helmet, 12% from my focus is going to be 27, plus 30 is going to be 57% basic skill attack speed, right? So let's go through the whole story again. Let's go and just attack it for a little bit. Make sure Asus is up all the time, which it is. So this is going to be enough. Okay, now let's go through frame by frame with our 57% basic skill attack speed here again. And we're gonna wait for Asus to proc again, so let's start frame by frame. So there's Asus, we wait one more attack. And now we start counting. So the first hit is at 1.86. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So that is 4.19. So we are at 4.29 attacks. Our expected is 4.55. So again, we are close to it, but not right there. So there seems to be some kind of frame-based diminishing return already going on. If you just remember, like Diablo 2 had a frame-based attack system. I don't actually know if Diablo 3 had a frame-based attack system too. I actually can't remember. But, you know, there's kind of this never change a running system. So my assumption is there's, again, a frame-based attack system in Diablo 4 again. And now, after this, we're going to do even more attack speed stacking and see if it actually makes sense. Okay, so now we want to stack even more attack speed, and we do this by adding unstable currents. So unstable currents gives 25% increased attack speed while it's active, and this is going to be stacking on top of your regular attack speed. At least that's the assumption, because it's going to be displayed in the character screen. So if you look at the character screen right now, yeah, I'm attacking with 100%. Let's see, go ahead to switch. Asus actually procs. So there's 100%. Now let me activate unstable currents. You see it's 125% now. So the assumption is that this works. I'm gonna let the cooldown run out now, and then I'm gonna go back and we do the same tests again. Alright, we're back. Unstable currents cooldown is up. So let's just start the timer here and wait for Asus. Okay, Asus is there. Let's go for unstable currents. Asus is active, unstable currents is active, all great. So we can use this attempt now. And let me just stop this rear, and then we go through the frame by frame once again. Okay, so let's go frame by frame again. So this was 100% attack speed, 57% basic skill attack speed, and 25% overcap attack speed from unstable currents. So this is 182% attack speed. Expected attacks per second is 4.99. So let's go through it frame by frame. We already have unstable currents and Asus active here. And let's wait for the first hit. This is at 4.16. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So this is 6.16. So as you can see, our attacks per second now all of a sudden is 5. I don't know why it skipped it now. Maybe it was like some kind of inaccurate in these two. I don't really know. I cannot verify. I can just say we're at 5 attacks per second right now with the overcap 25% attack speed. So maybe something is hidden multiplicative in there. I don't even know. This is not what I want to prove, but I guess we actually proved now that overcapping attack speed definitely works. And let's see how we can even get more than 5 attacks per second. Okay, so there's one more way to overtake attack speed. That's going to be the accelerating aspect. This is going to give me another 24% increased attack speed when I critical strike with a core skill. So I just put ice shards on my bar and I'm going to critical strike it with core skill. Then I'm going to activate unstable currents and going to activate frostbolt. That's going to be way more than enough time to have everything going. So let's do this right now. Start the timer. And there's the crit and let's go. You can see everything is active. And that's going to be it. So let's go through this frame by frame again. Okay, let's go through it again frame by frame. We have 100% attack speed, still 57 basic skill, and now we have 49% overcap attack speed. So we expect 5.42 attacks per second. I just put this Excel spreadsheet a little higher so you can see the buff icons here. So I have accelerating aspect, this is the buff icon, and the other buff icon is Asus here. So both are active. Everything is good. I'm gonna put it down again, and let's go through it frame by frame. So let's wait for the first spark, for the first crossbolt. That is going to be it. So here it hits. This is 2.23. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's 4.23. And you can see, like, I don't know if this is a coincidence. So this is exactly the same, right? So now we have to make an assumption here. There's 2 things which can be true. The one thing is the maximum attack speed is going to be 5 attacks per second. This would be one thing. The other thing would be accelerating aspect doesn't work. And the third one would be, I don't know, this is completely random. But so let's just verify what causes this to not give us any extra attacks. So our assumption that accelerating aspect doesn't work would be easy to prove because we just have to do the same thing over again, just without unstable currents. So let's do this right now. Okay, so let's do the same thing again, but this time without unstable currents, so we can verify like what the problem is here with our assumption. So I'm gonna start with ice shards again, and then I'm gonna continue with frostbolt, and let's go right now. So there's that, everything is procced, you can see the buff icons, so we continue with our frostbolt, and that's going to be it. Now let's go through it frame by frame again. Okay, so let's go through this frame by frame again. We still have 100% attack speed, we have still 57% basic attack speed, and we have 24% overcap attack speed this time, just from the accelerating aspect. You can see the buff icons here on the bottom are still active, so everything is valid. And let's go through this frame by frame and start the counting. So there's the first one at 2.08. And let's go on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we are at 4.05. And this gives us 5.08 attacks per second. So it has not been the accelerating aspect. It just seems like there's a cap at 5 attacks per second, or like roughly around that. So again, is there something we can still even get more attack speed and test this? Yes, there is. And we're going to continue with stretching this even further. Okay, so there's one more possibility. I can stack a little bit more attack speed here. So I put actually the rapid aspect on my amulet this time. So this is another 15% on top of it for basic skill attack speed. Then I have the Asus Ferocity now on my ring. And I'm just, unfortunately, I'm missing like 1.2% attack speed, I believe. So if I go to my... I have 48% attack speed right now, and if I attack this, you can see I have 98.8%. So I'm gonna include this in the calculations. I just cannot reach 100% without doing like any shenanigans here. And what I did there is I just added in the Paragon board the attack speed nodes here. Like this is just like plain attack speed nodes. They don't really do anything else. And here again, there's just some plain attack speed nodes. So I can reach the 98.8%. And now I'm going to do the whole story over again with everything active. So with unstable currents, with Asus Ferocity, with accelerating aspect and everything. So my assumption is we will still not go over 5 attacks a second here because there's a hidden frame limit. So let's just check this out. So we start the timer. And I start with Ice Shard, there it is, and now I go with Unstable Currents. You see all buffs are active. And that's going to be it, so let's count the frames again. Okay, so this one last test we are doing here with another 15% attack speed. So this time we have 98.8%. We have, instead of this, we have 72% basic skill attack speed right now. We have the 49% overcap attack speed from Unstable Currents. and from the accelerating aspect, so we would expect 5.66 attacks per second. So let's actually see if this makes sense or not. So we go through it frame by frame once more, and you can already see the accelerating aspect and Asus Ferocity buff are active. So let's wait for unstable currents to be active. There you go. Unstable current is cast, so now let's wait for the first frostbolt here. There it is. There's the hit at 299. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we are at 4.96. So let's see what actually happens. Surprise, surprise. The attacks per second is still at 5. So don't tell me I'm wrong. I feel like this attack speed limit of 5 per second is in the game, and there's nothing you can do about it. You could probably argue that, you know, some aspects on the amulet are not working properly, or some aspects are like ignored entirely. I can still go another round of verifying by just taking another aspect off now, and the result would be still the same. Like, no matter how much attack speed you stack, you will not reach more than 5 attacks per second. That's the cap. So what does it mean for like unstable currents builds going for basic attacks? Well, you don't really have to go crazy. Like, you only have to stack somewhere around 180% attack speed. So you don't need to do any shenanigans by putting like extra attack speed on your amulet. It's not gonna help you. You don't have to do accelerating aspect plus unstable currents. It doesn't help you. You won't break the cap. So the comfortable cap here, I would say, is the 57% basic skill attack speed. Well, the maximum you can reach is actually 60% if you have perfect rolls. But let's just assume you have the 57% or 60% basic skill attack speed, and then you have 125% attack speed from unstable currents. So this is going to be your cap. Right? You're not going to get over this 182% or whatever it is. 185 would be the cap. And that is going to max out your attacks at 5 per second. And there's no way to get any more out of this, right? So if you want to play this build, and I will post the build guide because this discovery really helps me because I can actually save an extra aspect, and it also prevents me from putting a wrong aspect onto my amulet, because now I know I only need the 25% attack speed from unstable currents. I don't need accelerating aspect, and I don't need to put either accelerating aspect or rapid aspect on my amulet, because my attack rate is going to be capped at 5 attacks per second, period. So all this kind of made me curious, and then I tried all core skills and all mastery skills and determined their baseline attack speed. And it turns out that they all have like pretty much different attack speeds. Like, all basic skills had 1.77 attacks per second baseline. But the core skills and the mastery skills actually differ. So I'm now going through like all core and mastery skills and show you the base attack speed of them. I don't know what you take out of this. Like, this is a completely different topic. But the attack speed for all core and mastery skills is actually different. They have different base attack speeds. And I'm now going through like the skills frame by frame again, and let's find out what their baselines are. So let's start with Chain Lightning here. I'm going through frame by frame. In this case, I cannot really do the damage numbers, so I'm just gonna count like whenever this swirly thing here appears below me. I'm not going to go into like very exact calculations here, but you know, it's gonna be as close as possible. So in the Chain Lightning case, we're gonna start with 0.85, and we're gonna do 11 skills again, like the last time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's slow down for 11. So there's 11. So we end up with 7.85. That gives us a 1.43 baseline attack speed for Chain Lightning. Next skill is Fireball, so let's go frame by frame again. For Fireball, we can use the hit again for our calculations. So let's do this. There's 1 at 1.9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So that's 6.96. So we have 1.76 again. So this seems like the highest attack speed is going to be this one. So let's go on to the next one. Next one is going to be Ice Shards frame by frame. So here we can use the first hit again for our calculations. So that's 4.28. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So that's 9.88. This is again one of the faster skills you can see. Next one is going to be Frozen Orb frame by frame. So this time we're going to do the cast animation because I don't want to judge the explosion here. So let's do the first cast animation. So I'm just going to use like this whatever pose she's doing here. So that's going to 1.73. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and there's 11. So that is going to be 8.73. So you can see Frozen Orb is one of the slower ones again. And the last one is going to be Charged Bolts. Here I use the cast animation again. So that is going to be 1.66. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 7.85. So this one has a different animation speed. For mastery skills, we start with Meteor. Here I'm going to use the cast animation again. Unfortunately, I don't have enough mana to do like 11 of these, so I'm going to like limit this to 5, but the results should be no different. Like the time is long enough to not have like any errors inside. So I already have like my 1 here, which is 1.45. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 4.19. And in this case, we don't have 10 of the attacks. So in this case, we only have 4. So this is an attack speed of 1.46. Next one is Blizzard. Here I'm going to use the animation once again. 1 at 2.53. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5.09. So, and again, 4 attacks. So this is 1.56. So it's all like kind of the same range. Obviously, like I'm only doing like less spells here, so there's a little bit of error involved. But I guess to make the point of this video, this is still like kind of proof enough. So next one I'm going to do is Firewall here. Let's start with the animation again. So that's going to be it. That's going to be 1.49. There's 2. There's 3. 4. 5. At 5.59. So you can see like firewall, for whatever reason, is like the slowest thing of all. It has like a 1 second. I have no clue why. I also tried to animation cancel it. It's not possible. So the attack speed of firewall is just like super, super slow. So for ball lightning, it's a little bit more difficult to establish a baseline. I still have 0% attack speed on right now, and what I'm doing is I'm just using unstable currents, but without prime unstable currents, so I have no attack speed bonus here whatsoever. I just do all the static discharge, crackling energy generation, crackling energy mana regeneration, wizard's ball lightning mana regeneration, and then I put chain lightning with destructive chain lightning on, and I also have it in the enchantment slot. So now I can use unstable currents because it's gonna cast chain lightnings all the time, and I'm still gonna do the same baseline calculations, but I'm gonna count the number of ball lightnings passing a certain point. So I'm gonna use like this point here where ball lightnings will pass, and if I have a stable row of ball lightnings, I can basically calculate the baseline attack speed. So let's do this right now. Start the timer. And you can see like the row of ball lightnings is static, so that works. So I can just now calculate all the ball lightnings passing a certain point to get the baseline attack speed. Alright, let's go through this frame by frame, and I will pick a certain point where the ball lightnings have to travel through, and then I'm going to use that as a Bayesian calculation. So let's just start with going for ball lightnings, and then I'm just going to stop at a certain point. So I'm going to stop now, and let's say this is second 2.78. So what I'm going to do is now I'm just going to put my mouse here, yeah, and I will calculate all the ball lightnings which are going through speed. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So that is 7.32. So let's calculate our baseline attack speed for ball lightning. So this is 2.2. So ball lightning is crazy fast. So we have 2.2 baseline for ball lightning, and now this is now interesting. So are you actually overcapping your ball lightning attack speed or not? Because if the ball lightning attack speed its baseline is 2.2, we still want to know, is the maximum attack speed still 5 per second, also for ball lightning? And if yes, are you maybe overcapping it? So let's find out right now. So now we verified that we can have a base attack speed of 2.2 attacks for ball lightning a second. We can now see, can we actually reach more than 5 attacks a second for ball lightning? So to do this, I have 100% attack speed again. So I put on my Asus Ferocity aspect here, and I also put on Ravenous Vampiric Power. So this is gonna be 100% no matter what, even though we have more on the gloves. Then I put back on the accelerating aspect with the 24%, and in the skill tree I also put back the prime unstable currents. So we are at 150% now, so let's start the timer and see what we can actually get. So you see the mana regeneration is no problem, right? The stream of ball lightning is static, so I can just go on with the counting after this. So I guess this should be enough. Okay, so now let's go through this frame by frame again. We have 149 increased attack speed because we only have 24% on our gloves. And so that would mean we should be hitting 5.48 attacks a second if our baseline would be 2.2. So this is obviously not 100% accurate, but I guess this is as accurate as it gets. And I'm going to do the same again. I'm just going to pick a point and have the ball lightnings pass through. So I'm going to pick this point here. And let's just start the video now frame by frame. Okay, there we're going to start ball lightning. So now all the attack speed bonuses are on. So I'm just going to start with this ball lightning here. Position I'm going to use. So we are at 622. And to make this more accurate, I'm actually going to use 21 right now. Okay, so this is 1. Go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, and 21. So we are at 10.31, and we did 20 attacks. So this is 4.89. Again, this calculation was a little bit more sloppy, but again, I guess you can see that you will not hit more than 5 attacks. So 5 attacks is going to be the cap here. No matter what skill you're using, you're not going to hit more than 5 attacks a second. There's a secret attack speed cap, and that is 5 attacks per second, period. Okay, so let's just come to a quick conclusion here. So first I tested basic skill attack speeds, and I verified the baseline for every basic skill attack speed is 1.77 attacks per second. I only show it with Frostbolt, but I checked all attack speeds of all basic skills. They're all the same. Like, I had the same number literally for all skills. So then we verified, like, is the attack speed working? So we took 100% attack speed and we had double the number of attacks. Then we took 124, 157, and we were close to the expected results. We were a little bit lower. I don't even know the reason for that. And then we overcapped it at 182%, and we pretty much reached the maximum of 5 attacks per second. And everything going above that, even 206% or even 219%, didn't give us any more attacks. So the attack speed cap for those was 5. The conclusion is, you don't need, if you want to run a basic skill based build, you don't need more than 182% attack speed. So you just need basic skill attack speed on your helmet, basic skill attack speed on your focus, the rapid aspect for 30% more basic skill attack speed, and the 25% from unstable currents. You do not need accelerating aspect, and you do not need to put any attack speed based aspect on your amulet. It's just gonna be a waste. This is the first one which we conclude after this video. So the second one which we conclude is core skills and mastery skills. So it seems all core skills have a different baseline for attack speed. So Chain Lightning has a base attack of 1.43, Fireball and Ice Shards have like 1.8, Frozen Orb again has 1.4, Charge Bolt has like 1.6, and so there's different attack speeds for those skills. It's not 1.2 attacks. Every skill has this individual animation, and it has this individual base attack rate. Same goes for mastery skills. Meteor has like 1.46, Blizzard 1.56, Firewall 1. Firewall is very, very slow, so if you're playing Firewall build, probably like running attack speed is like the worst you can do. And then Ball Lightning, for whatever reason, has crazy 2.2 attacks per second baseline. This is probably one of the reasons why Ball Lightning is so strong, because the base attack speed is very, very high. So then one more thing we wanted to verify is if we are overcapping attack speed on Ball Lightning. So yes, you can overcap attack speed on Ball Lightning. So what we did is we kept 149% here, and we would expect 5.48 attacks per second on Ball Lightning, but we only got 4.89. So I assume this is our 5 cap again. So you could even like get your accelerating aspect now on your amulet for another, I believe it's like 12% or something like that. And you wouldn't get more than those 5 attacks. So if you like, for whatever reason, want to overcap your Ball Lightning with accelerating aspect on your amulet, you're not going to get more Ball Lightnings out of it. 5 is the cap. This is going to be it. So that pretty much sums this up. I hope you find this video useful, and if you're like interested in more theory crafting videos like this, or if you have any comments to this, just let me know in the comments down below. And also, I only verified this on Sorceress because I don't have any other classes available. Like, feel free to like test this on some different character, like on a Frenzy Barb or whatever, and see if you can actually reach more than 5 attacks per second, because my assumption is that this is a global limit and this counts for all characters whatsoever. 5 per second, that's going to be it. Anyway, that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.